I've got the M5 Pro MacBook Pro and the M1 Pro MacBook Pro. Should you upgrade? Let's find out. Okay, so I've got both machines right here, and I guess as a bit of an icebreaker, I'm going to tell you what specs I went with. So I've got the binned version, which is the 15 core CPU, 16 core GPU, but I upgraded the RAM to 48 GB. What's really nice about the M5 Pro is they have upgraded, we gotta pay for it, but I guess it's £100 more, the SSD to 1 TB, so that's double the storage, and it's, I think, twice the speed as the M1 Pro MacBook Pro, which we'll have a look at later on. Also, what's nice is we have Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 6 support. Now what's annoying is, which isn't Apple's fault, is there's no power brick when you buy this machine. This is all thanks to the EU. They assume that we have like a 100-watt charger lying around, sure. But thankfully I've got one from Ugreen that I've been using, not sponsored, and I really like it. So I guess you can get yourself a good quality charger. Apple do give you the option to add it to checkout, but I've already got one, so I didn't really want to spend any more money. As you can see, both of these machines are identical. I guess there's no surprise, right? The key differences are this has a center stage webcam and had a bit of better image processing, whilst this one doesn't have a center stage webcam. Here's the video quality of the M5 Pro MacBook Pro, and of course we are using the built-in microphones. And we'll jump over to the M1 Pro MacBook Pro, again using the same built-in microphones. The ports on this machine has been upgraded, so again it's the same design. I don't even know why I'm bothering to show you, but here are the ports. We've got MagSafe 3, 2 Thunderbolt 5 USB-C port, and of course an audio jack. And on this side we've got an SD card reader, another Thunderbolt 5 USB-C port, and a HDMI 2.1 port, which I really appreciate. This one is Thunderbolt 4 and HDMI 2.0, so it's a nice upgrade, especially with this display right in front of me. Can utilize the full capabilities of HDMI 2.1. In terms of battery life, Apple says the 14-inch should last around 22 hours, and so far the battery has been excellent on this machine. Again, on this one the battery life is still decent, but given that, you know, it's starting to age a little bit, and of course we're working with, I think, 5nm technology versus 2 or 3nm on this machine, it's quite obvious that this one is a bit more efficient. Plus I think I've got about 83% battery capacity left on this machine. But even so, as you know, the M series MacBook Pros have been fantastic. Okay, I think that's enough rambling on about the surface of the machine. You are here for what's under the hood and how it performs, right? So let's test out the performance. First of all, I'm going to test the drive speeds of the machine. So we're going to open up the Blackmagic disk speed test. We're going to kick off the test right now. As you can see, this is double the speed of this. Bear in mind, this is still pretty fast, right? We're getting around 5,500 on the write and about 5,000 megabits per second on the read. On here we're getting over 10,000 on the write and around 13,000 on read. So pretty impressive. Again, I've had no issues when it came to the speed of the storage on the M1 Pro, but it's nice to see that it has been upgraded. Next, we're going to look at everyone's favorite benchmark, which is of course Cinebench. First of all, let's run a multi-core CPU test. 3, 2, 1, go. Interesting. As you can see, the M5 Pro MacBook Pro is completely obliterating the M1 Pro MacBook Pro. However, we'll see how they stack up against each other. As you can see, the M5 Pro MacBook Pro scored 6,791 points on the multi-core. This M1 Pro MacBook Pro scored 2,637. That's definitely 2 or 3 times the speed of this machine. Now in terms of single thread, this has almost scored double, but I'm actually surprised how well the M1 Pro has held up. And finally for the GPU, well, this poor M1 Pro MacBook Pro got obliterated. But we are talking about 5 generations apart. In case you're wondering, this scored 41,284 points versus 9,718 points. It's safe to say if you're going to do anything heavily graphic and orientated or gaming or anything like that, then you may want to lean more towards the M5 Pro. These are of course synthetic and don't represent real world tests. So let's jump into editing some 4K video on DaVinci Resolve. I've got DaVinci Resolve open now, and this project is running on both of the internal SSDs. So let's do a bit of timeline scrubbing. This is the M1 Pro, and it holds up fairly well, to be honest. Do a bit of playback, full screen, and yeah, I think it's decent. There might perhaps be a little bit of dropped frames here and there, but still impressive. Of course, this is the M5 Pro, and yeah, I think it might be a little bit, well, I would expect it to be a little bit more responsive, but it holds up really well. Let's find somewhere where there's multiple, and there's no crazy effects or anything going on here. Oh, there was a little bit of a lag there. I don't know if you saw that. A little bit had to load into the memory or render or something like that. We can try that on this machine here. I think for the most part both of these machines hold up very well. Again, I'll just replay that section. Yep, that's fine, no lag. So I think perhaps because I've just recently imported the video, it might have just took a second to render or something, but yeah, I think the performance is very good. It does feel a lot more smoother and responsive on here. Again, it's maybe just because it's how I've got my project set up. There's no crazy color grading or anything like that, and I do intend to perhaps change that in the future, but for now I like to keep things a bit basic. Let's do a render test. Right, we've got both clips ready to be rendered. I'm going to set up a stopwatch. 3, 2, 1. So the M5 Pro is a bit ahead at the moment, which I would expect, but the M1 Pro is still holding up very well. It's not that far behind. Still very impressed by the M1 Pro performance. Wow, this is almost twice the speed. Again, considering the generational difference and how much I paid for it, I would expect it to be. M1 Pro is still chugging along, but it's nearly there. The M1 Pro rendered the video in just 1 minute and 5 seconds more than the M5 Pro, which is quite impressive still. So if you still do heavy 4K video editing, then yeah, I don't think there's any reason to upgrade unless you need more RAM. Okay, the last sort of test I'm going to do is open up LM Studio, and we're going to pick Gemma 3 with a 12 billion parameters. To be honest, I don't really know loads about local AI, but I have been dabbling around with it a bit, and I do like how, you know, you can run these models locally on the machines, and there are some advantages to doing so. Okay, so we've got the prompt loaded. Let's give this a try. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, that one's thinking, but it's going. That one just went straight off doing its thing. That's interesting because Apple claims that the M5 Pro, or at least the M5 lineup of the Macs in general, have better AI capabilities. So I would like to see how well this machine performs in comparison. There we go, this one's complete. That one's still chugging along, but it should be finished relatively soon. But yeah, it's still performing quite well, and I think it should be finished very soon. So I'm going to say it probably takes about twice as much amount of time, if I had to guess. I guess every prompt is a bit different, like every result is going to be different, but it's still quite impressive to see how well this performs. There we go, it's complete. So probably a little bit more than, well, probably about twice the amount of time it took. If you do a lot of AI orientated work, then again, go for the M5 Pro machine. If you're not really bothered about AI and just like a little bit of dabble with it, or don't care about AI at all, then yeah, this is still a very good machine. Okay, should you upgrade to the M5 Pro from your M1 Pro? It depends, honestly. It really depends. If this machine is holding you back, then upgrade. If you can get away with a little bit of hiccups or a little bit of slowness here and there, and don't mind waiting for the M6 MacBook, then maybe hold on to see what happens. And if for whatever reason you don't want to get the M6, then perhaps you could potentially get a discounted or refurbished M5 Pro machine. But if your workflow is holding you back, especially from a RAM perspective, then maybe go for the M5 Pro or maybe an M4 Pro refurbished. But I think for me this is still a very good upgrade, because again, I mostly upgraded because of the RAM. I wanted a bit more RAM and a bit better processing speeds and maybe better battery. Okay, I think it's time to wrap up the video here. Both of my cameras have overheated. Before I go, I'm thinking about potentially making another video about the gaming performance on the M5 Pro MacBook. If that's something that you would like me to do, then let me know in the comments down below. Also, I might make a further video in the future talking about my experience and a bit more of an in-depth video, as I do appreciate that this was predominantly synthetic benchmarks. I hope you found this useful. If you liked this video, why not check out one of my previous videos here? And with that being said, thanks for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless.